Welcome to the Two Tone Podcast, episode number 35.
Dang. Sorry. 35 episodes? I just fucking cut you off completely. That's impressive.
Yeah.
What was I on? Episode 17 or some shit?
I think so. I don't remember. Oh, fucking
Okay,
dude.
go on with your spiel.
All right, episode number 35. As you can tell, very special guest, back at it again, Kyle Baston.
What's up, my guys?
How
How's it
you
going?
been, kid? What you been up to?
Working a lot. I hate that answer whenever someone's like, "Hey, what have you been up to, man?" Working. It's like, well, duh, we all are, but holy shit, have I been working? And it's kind of sucks. Yeah, I've been working for my job from home, which is nice, so I can come back and visit for Christmas. But yeah, I've been doing that, and then I'm almost done editing a new short film. It's very close.
Hell yeah.
Which we'll be collaborating on. Yay. Fun. Jaylen's doing a little track. Doing that, and then I actually finished writing a feature. So
Oh shit, really?
it's fucking done. I mean,
What's the genre you picked for your first feature?
coming of age. It's a road trip story.
Hell yeah.
So I've been trying to get people to read it, but it's really hard to get people to read 90 pages of something.
Yeah. I might say.
Theo's been bugging me for 3 weeks to read 16 pages.
Right.
He's like, "Yo, have you read it yet?" And I feel like a fucking asshole when I'm like, "Sorry, man, I haven't gotten around to it." But I did read it last night before I came.
That's what I was about to say. Theo sent me the script, and I was like 15, 16. Oh my god, how many pages?
How
I was like,
long is this thing?
but
No.
I'm excited for it.
No, it's fun. It's a fun script.
I feel like it'll be a really good time.
Yeah, I mean, just feed into that goofiness of it, and I think I don't know. Do you want critiques, or we can talk about the script if you want.
I don't really care.
And I'll give it broad strokes. I don't want to spoil anything for people, but I would just say try to give the characters each a little bit more voice because they sound really similar right now.
Yeah.
I can't really tell apart Diff, and Kush too much.
We were talking about that a little bit at work the other day. It's kind of hard to just take one person's mind and kind of split it into different characters to make the character really into that, the role, the lingo that they would use, or just their general sense of being.
Yeah, it's really challenging. I struggled with this a lot and still do. I think every writer always struggles with this because it's your headspace and you have to turn into someone else's headspace.
Right.
But one tip I heard one time is that a lot of writers will basically cover up the names of the characters when they're reading it. And if they forget which character is saying each line, they're like, okay, I need to change this. So literally delete out Spiff, Diff, Kush, all that, and just have the dialogue and start reading it and get to a point where you can easily tell that's the line that Diff said or that Spiff said.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So, and especially Diff, his name is Diff, make him different, make him kind of weird. And and I think that's your intention in it. I can see where you're going with it, but, yeah, just really try to give them more of a voice. And I would say also just try to give them a little bit more of a motivation. So we care about, what's in the briefcase kind of thing. And I know they're just kind of dudes hanging out, but why do they need that money? Make that answer somewhere and put that in the beginning.
Okay.
So that way it's oh, okay, I'm actually kind of invested and rooting for these characters or not rooting for these characters, whatever they want to use the money for. Because right now it's oh, what do we do with it? I can get drugs. I could, but what's the other alternative to, I could just smoke all this money. What's the question that they're actually dealing with internally of I could pay for whatever it is. Whether that's getting out of their fucking parents' house, getting out of whatever situation they're in.
We hold the mic a little closer.
Well, yeah, my bad.
No, you're good.
Could they hear all that or?
Yeah,
okay,
you're
cool.
good. It was just a little quiet.
My bad. But yeah, actually, yeah, try to give them more motivation and even give them different motivations. You got 16 pages, and right now, I would say 5 of it's kind of filler-ish. So use, cut down some stuff and put that kind of stuff in.
Okay.
I feel a good way to kind of remedy that problem would kind of make it almost like a Res Dogs kind of situation. You ever seen Reservation
It's
Dogs?
amazing. I haven't watched the last season
Hulu?
yet.
It's really good.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
love the first 2 seasons.
I'm about to say it's such a good show. Have you seen it? It's on Hulu.
No, I haven't.
I would watch, even if you just go watch the pilot. Like, that's a really good comparison of your script.
Right.
It's just kids fucking around.
Right. It's this group of kids on this Indian reservation, and they're just like, I fucking hate living in this town. So like, we're trying to save up all this money so we can move out to California.
Yeah.
And it's like the story kind of follows the whole reason why they're trying to leave. Like they meet certain characters that help them and give them, advice on the way. But the whole story drives to, a certain point that they're trying to obtain.
Yeah. Now, Reservation Dogs is an awesome show. I'm glad you've seen that.
It's a really good show.
You were ahead of me though. I haven't watched the 3rd season. I really want to.
Me and Jaylen were talking about this. Or I messaged him about it. But you know how in Stanley Kubrick's films, Jesus Christ.
I love that you did that. Do you know the joke in Reservation Dogs where the cop is like, "Man, the moon landing's fake. Stanley Kubrick did that shit." And then he just instantly said that. Oh, man.
Res Dogs is, if you haven't seen it, bro, it's such a good show. You really need to watch it. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Check that shit out. Anyways, sorry to cut you off. Stanley Kubrick. Go ahead.
You know how in his films he like has certain colors for different meanings?
I guess. I mean,
like greens will like symbolize death and like
oh yeah,
all that.
What's like? Have you seen any of his stuff?
I've seen like some of it, not all of it. I've seen The Shining and like
okay, Shining, great example. Yeah. The colors in that movie are crazy. You're right.
But I was talking to Jaylen and I was like thinking about it because I was like, I kind of want to do that, like put a certain color with a certain feeling of something.
It's really funny. The director that on the last episode, Alex Poisel was talking about, that did Drive and the colorblind guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nicholas Winding Refn. I love that, like, he was like, what's his name? And I was like, Nicholas Winding Refn.
That's how I imagine Kyle's watching every episode when I'm like, what's his dick? He's like, you fucking retard. It's whatever.
I mean, that was a pretty obscure pick by him. Like, I was kind of surprised he, like, pulled that out. And
he's a pretty obscure guy.
He had some cool taste. Alex Poisel's cool as fuck.
Yeah, he's definitely my kind of guy, honestly.
Anyways, the color in that's really cool. I love his movies. More color stuff to watch. There's this French movie called Amélie. And like have you watched like a lot of international stuff, like different languages and all this stuff yet?
Not yet. I haven't gotten.
It's really fun to break into it, and Amélie I think is a really good starting point because you just imagine like international movies are going to be kind of slow and like hard to get into. You got to read subtitles. That one is not. Really fast. It's really entertaining. Visually fucking amazing. The colors are so cool. So if you want to watch something for colors, that's a cool one. That's the first thing that came to my head. I mean, there's a million movies.
I like Moonlight for coloring.
Oh,
Moonlight's it's kind of like
that's a great pick.
It's
great pick.
I mean, the movie's good and all, but I feel like it was definitely hyped up.
I love Moonlight.
It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they were like when it came out, it just got pushed so much, and that kind of like I feel like in a way drew people away from wanting to see it.
Oh yeah, just like this whole Oscar campaign. And all that.
Like that whole thing with it.
I love Moonlight because like it won Best Picture with a budget of $1.1 million. That's like actually insane. It's a super small budget movie, and I mean it launched Barry Jenkins' career. Like I mean he had one feature before that, but that like I haven't even seen. It's like really like I forget what the title is, but anyways, yeah, Moonlight's amazing. I went to a Q&A with him actually with Barry Jenkins because he did a show called Underground Railroad, and they showed the last 2 episodes in theaters, and they did a Q&A with him afterwards, and that was easily the best Q&A because they usually do like a journalist and the filmmaker, right. And like that was the one that seemed like a podcast the most. Like they just sat there and talked for an hour, like how we were.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, like it was just a conversation.
That's sick as shit.
I remember he was so cool to the audience too because he was like, they met their time at like 30 minutes, and he's like, "Hey, there's no movie screening after this. Like, do you guys want to stay? I'll keep talking." And then everyone's like, "Yeah, let's go." Like they all started cheering. He's like, "All right." So they just stay for like an hour, and easily my favorite Q&A ever. But anyways, Moonlight colored really good. Definitely think about so what are some colors that you would want to like put into that script? I guess it's in a desert, so I don't know. What are some colors that you would want to like put into that script? I guess it's in a desert, so I don't know. What are some colors that you would want to like put into that script? I guess it's in a desert, so I don't know. What are some colors that you would want to like put into that script? I guess it's in a desert, so
So I was thinking more like um what the characters have around them. So like what shirts, like
Okay.
colored shirt they're wearing, or like if they're holding a different colored cup than everybody else, it means
Mm.
it's like something's gonna happen to them. And I was
Yeah, yeah.
thinking like a blue could mean like death or some shit like that, or like a
Yeah.
purple or something.
And the Departed Martin Scorsese movie. Have you seen that? It's really good. Check that out. It has like Leonardo DiCaprio and fuck Jack Nicholson's in it, I think. Yeah. And anyways, I haven't seen it in forever, but I know that there's a thing where before anyone's about to die, there's like an X somewhere on screen, and it could be like made up of anything.
Right.
Like, for example, like in this room, like that like yardstick could be intersecting with the neck of your guitar, and it's just like in the background. And like
Interesting.
there's just always right before someone's about to die, there's an X somewhere. It's not something you notice like on a first watch. It's like not
Right.
it's not really meant to be noticed. It's just a cool little detail.
That is cool.
But yeah, shit like that's cool. So
What I was when he brought it up to me, I was like, I feel like if you had a certain color, like trying to represent death, like you would. I feel like, in my opinion, you'd almost have to like present it early in the movie,
mhm.
and then like right before they die, like say like in the beginning, he's like holding a green cup while everybody else has got red cups,
Yeah.
and then right before he dies, they pull up onto this street, and like the sign is green or something,
Mhm.
like the street they pull onto before he dies. Like, I feel like there'd have to be something like a through line that
Yeah.
correlates to the colors.
It could work too, because I mean, the way your script is structured, it's like you see the end before, um, the before it actually happens, so you know someone's gonna die. I think green would actually be kind of a cool color for it, because it's like, one, it's like a stoner comedy kind of movie, so it's like, you know, fucking weed, obviously, but also money, greed, like that
Yeah.
leading into green usually isn't like a representation of death, but like that is kind of, you more so like pick red, I guess. But using green as like a way for like them dealing with, you know, the abundance of money they have. Should I smoke it? Should I use it for greed? Should I do this? Like
I didn't even think about
yeah.
like the greed and greed
Oh yeah.
being green.
Whenever there's money involved, I always think like greed is such a cool thing to play with, because you know a lot of characters could be like, oh yeah, like I would give all this shit to charity, but then as soon as they have it, they're like, wait a second, you know what I mean?
I could just take all of this.
So I think it's a really cool like emotion, and I mean it's just a human thing
Right.
to write with. So I think a lot of your characters need some of that, and that's how you can differentiate them and how they talk and how they do this. Find
Right.
out what each of them wants to do with that money, and then that will result in how they speak and what they do, and it'll make them seem like different characters as soon as you give them different motivations. So that's my
Right.
biggest note for you for that. So
You
but
don't even have to really change like what happens
no,
in the movie either.
no,
You could just kind of add shit to each character.
yeah. Because like I think the end is like a cool little shootout scene. It's fun. But the feeling, like the characters aren't there right now. Like I just don't care at the moment in terms of what happens to them or why. But that can be fixed. That's something like, that's why you get notes. That's why you do multiple drafts. Like that base story is cool and fun, and like smoking a joint with a guy that's about to kill you is, cool little bit. So like um I definitely think it could be something cool, and definitely would be fun to shoot. Like it's all about that chemistry between your actors, and
I think we
yeah.
have done a little bit of writing on it since
Have
the
you?
script that you
Yeah,
got
because you sent
sent.
it to me in like late November. Sorry, man. It's been a second since
Nah,
I
I
read
must
it.
have. I've given him a little bit of tips on like the
Okay.
end of it and what I think should happen. Like, obviously, I feel like you'd have a little
Yeah.
bit more of
Well.
a solid know of how the story should go. With the characters and the
Yeah.
storyline. But
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, like it's your story.
right,
Like you want to do
that's
what you want to do. I mean, like I will tell you if it hits or not. Like I can be just the amount of fucking movies I watch. I'm just
right.
like, well, this. How could you do this? And I guess the other tip I should give you is like, I guess I'll ask this first. What are like some of your inspirations for that script in terms of like what movies you've watched and or shows or whatever? What made you want to
Um,
make this?
so, um, I mean,
did you watch Pulp Fiction before this?
No.
With the briefcase?
No. But it's just like little clips I've seen of films and stuff like on TikTok and or like Instagram, just scrolling through and seeing like I saw the Pulp Fiction scene when they open the briefcase and the light and you don't really see what's inside.
So have you watched Pulp Fiction yet?
I have not watched it fully.
You should watch it fully.
Theo's the king of watching clips of shit.
Dude. Okay, first of all, stop doing that. It's cool. It's cool to like watch, like, I like video essays a lot about movies. Like Cinefix does like top 10 lists that go into like really in depth kind of shit. Use those kind of videos to see what you're interested in, and then watch the movie. Like, you're not gonna learn as much by looking at just clips as you are sitting down and like really trying to invest yourself in a story. I know that that's like a massive time commitment. And it's hard as a fucking working dude. Like whenever I watch movies, I'm like up until like fucking 2 a.m. usually, because when I get off work. But like, if you want to be a filmmaker, like start fucking watching movies. And I think like the best way of doing that is like throw out everything you think you know, and just realize. And this is me watching movies too. Realize that you don't know shit, and that there's a whole world of movies out there for you to explore. And it's a way into seeing different people's perspectives, different countries' perspectives. It's like, I love film because it's like, it goes right into the quote of the week, if we want to get into that. But
I'll toss it up real quick.
No. But yeah, movies are the memories of our lifetime by Scorsese. So I think that like, the more you watch movies, the more you get to know people in the world around you. But also as an artist yourself, you get to like pick from all kinds of crazy shit. Like the short that I just made with Robbie, like his influences are like old movies. Probably one of the biggest influences is this movie called Cleo from 5 to 7. Like, what the fuck is that movie?
I've never even heard of this movie.
But the thing is like when you watch this shit, you're just like getting tools for your tool belt as a writer and a director, because like no film exists within a vacuum. You know what I mean? Like you can't there's not going to be a movie that isn't influenced by another movie or by something else or by what happened to you. So it's like, just watch that and pull from old shit, and like your movies will get better. Your taste will improve. You'll start understanding the art form more. And that's like what it's about. Cause like when I was like fresh out of college, I was like starting to get into like the more artsy shit, but I feel like I've really started to get into it now more that I'm out in LA, and there's like screening, like, oh wow, Cleo from 5 to 7 in theaters. Like that just happens in LA, right. You know what I mean? Or it's like a movie you've never fucking heard of. You're like, I guess I'll watch this. So like I've started to get into it a lot more, and I love it. And it's the more I get into it, the more I realize I have so much more to learn. So yeah, just tell yourself you still need to learn. You still need to watch some shit. And that's like, honestly, it's cool. Because like, dude, the amount of awesome movies you haven't seen, like, man.
I'm going to say, there's always something out there that you haven't seen that you can watch.
Yeah, like, what if I watched like recently for the first time that I'd never seen?
I watched Spy Games the other day.
Spy Games, that's, I don't think I've seen that. Who?
I'll give it a Google real quick.
Character is.
Who's in it? It sounds so familiar, but
I forget the
2001. Brad Pitt.
Who directed that?
Give me a second.
I feel like now I'm good.
Tony Scott.
The fuck has he done? I don't even know. I never remember directors' names, but if you give me like his filmography.
Oh, he did Top Gun.
That's what it is. Okay. Yep. Gotcha. Anyways, that's cool. I have not seen that either. One that I watched like for the first time that like a lot of people have seen is Heat, like with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
I've never seen any of those like old gangster mob movies.
Dude, that one's cool as fuck, because it's like it takes place in like the 90s LA, and it's a heist movie. So it's just
That's
like
sick.
They're trying to rob I won't say what, but it's like can't remember. I just know the heist scene is fucking awesome. But like that was like from the 90s, and I just watched it like a month ago, and it's like there's so much shit out there like that you're like, oh my god, this is one of my new favorite movies. Like I watched a movie for the first time a couple weeks ago called Targets, and it's from the 60s, and it's genuinely one of my favorite movies ever now. Like crazy ass movie. But anyways, just take the time and watch some stuff. Like if ever you're feeling, this is how I do it. If I don't feel like writing or editing or whatever process I'm on, I'll watch something because it still kind of exercises that part of my brain. But like, you can sit on the couch and eat snacks while you do it. You know what I mean? Like you can still kind of be relaxing, but you still feel productive in a way. Like I think as soon as a filmmaker stops looking at watching shit as I'm lazy and on the couch, and actually thinks about it as like I'm learning, I'm like actually working on my craft through watching stuff becomes so much more fun. Because you're like, wow, I'm so productive. I watched 4 movies today. And you're like, anyone else would say that shit and be like, yo, what the fuck?
I'm about to say, like,
you're just on your ass all day. I'm like, yeah, it was awesome.
I'm about to say, one of my favorite ways to like listen to new albums is just to put it on in the car and just drive, just a pointless drive, just to like listen to the album in peace. Because I honestly feel like the car is like the best time, the place where the audio is the best. Like,
I totally agree.
Headphones are nice, but you get the feel of the bass from the car,
Yeah.
And, you can fuck with the audio settings and shit. But if I just drove around for 5 hours just listening to new shit, I'd be like, well, I just wasted a tank and a half of gas.
Yeah, that's the thing. Movies, like, also don't cost any money, really. I mean, if you want you can, there's so much shit streaming still. Like, I find stuff streaming still that I haven't seen. So, I mean, obviously you're paying for the streaming services, but it's not like you're, per movie. But,
even if the movie's not great, you can still learn something from it.
Exactly. Whenever I start a movie, I watch the entire thing. I never am like, I don't like this, and turn it off. If I don't like it, I watch it because I'm like, well, what would I do better? Not even what would I do better. It's more so just like, what did they do wrong that I don't like?
Right.
Like why you have to start asking yourself, why don't I like this movie? And then as soon as you start asking yourself that, or why do I love this movie? You're like, you start kind of finding your taste and what you like, and you can point out the stories you want to tell and the characters and the themes and all this shit, and then that helps your writing and your directing, and it makes you like a more educated filmmaker. Because like I had the fucking privilege of actually going to film school and doing that and like actually dedicating time to studying. But since you are in film school, like Tarantino didn't go to film school, and he always says, because I know you like Tarantino, I know he always says that like movies were his film school, like just watch it. So that's my best advice to you, and then that'll make your scripts better.
That sounds like pretty solid advice, honestly.
Thanks, man. You know me.
What you think, T?
Thanks. Yeah, watch a movie. When in high school, I watched a movie every day. That was my mission.
Damn, that's a lot of movies.
Yeah, I think in 2017 I watched like 400 movies.
Jesus Christ.
So I was going crazy. Like I would go to school, I would work, and then I'd watch one after work. So
Jeez.
I mean, it's definitely a commitment, but art is a commitment, man. Like it's you gotta be all about it sometimes. At least in the beginning when you're learning. Yeah. So like with me, like I try to watch at least one a week now. I think that's like a pretty achievable number to get to. It doesn't have to, and like if you miss a week, whatever, it's like, it's not like working out where it's like you got to be consistent, but it does help when you're constantly kind of stretching that muscle of watching shit. So anyways, yeah. Nice job on writing 16 pages though. The thing is like, even if it needs work, there's so many people you're already ahead of because there's so many people that want to write and don't.
T, will you make sure your microphone's plugged in at the bottom? I'm about to say, I don't know why, but your microphone cut out a second ago.
Are we back? I think it got... Oh.
There you are. Give me a little audio.
How you doing?
Perfect. All right.
Back.
I don't know what happened, but your microphone cut out for a second.
Didn't even notice because I was talking like for 5 minutes straight.
It's all good. It's all good. We're just here talking shit. Oh, we haven't even done the song yet. I haven't even edited my audio
Oh
or
my
my
gosh,
fucking.
I really got into this.
It's all good, man. We're just here talking shit. Let me throw this in the mix real quick.
We got 3 more hours, or actually 2.5.
An hour. I work at 4:30.
Oh shit.
So I'd probably say 3:30 at the latest. We can stay till. But it's 2:04. You already know how long this podcast is. Whoever you are listening, you can listen to the end. I don't know how long this podcast is.
It might be 7 hours long.
Might be.
It could be.
We just follow y'all to work.
Yeah.
Just,
It should be slow today, thankfully.
We just link up on a Zoom call.
Oh, dude, this is what I was going to talk about with WWE. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the channels I work on is Fox's WWE channel.
Oh, hell yeah.
And my favorite part about doing that channel is we get to come up with a pinned comment. I can say whatever, and they always are just like, yeah, whatever. Like, they don't care. Like, the goofier.
That's fucking hilarious.
The goofier and, like, campier it is, because, like, that's what WWE is. Like, the more they like it. So, like, I just came up with some crazy ones last week, and they got, like, 100 likes, and I was like, hell yeah,
that's
funny.
That's fucking funny as shit.
And I love it, because, like, I don't even know what the hell's going on in WWE, you know? I've never been into it. But I'll just, like, watch the clip, and I'll just, basically what I do is I just figure out who, like, the villain is and who the hero is, and then I'll just like roast the hell out of the villain. Or it was like there was one where like Randy Orton and LA Knight were talking. Do you know who these guys are?
Yeah.
I love that this is hilarious. and like LA Knight walks up and he's got these like sunglasses on. It was on SmackDown last Friday. And he's like he's trying to be all tough with Randy Orton, and Randy Orton's like not having it. And my pinned comment was like, the only thing Randy Orton was afraid of there was his own reflection in LA Knight's sunglasses.
I'll have to go back onto the channel.
It's like it's like
some of the
yeah, the WWE on Fox. It's the Fox one.
I'll have to check it out.
But it's not like every single one, but that I do. But the ones I do are, I try to like get more likes than my coworkers. I'm like, I can do this.
That's hilarious. That's fucking fried. All right,
how is it editing for people and shit?
I mean,
like
it's
that?
fun. Like my job doesn't actually have a lot of like editing going on. It's more so like we're sent files and we upload them to YouTube kind of thing. With WWE, for example, we do throw it into Final Cut and then we just put the end screen on it. That's all I'm doing. Like all right, subscribe, all this shit. Put that in. I had to re-export the whole clip and then upload that to YouTube. And then I put like the end screen elements on. You know what I'm talking about because you
like
run
all
this
the
YouTube channel.
Cards and whatever the fuck the video at the end is.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So I'm basically doing that for like however many videos a day. Like SmackDown publishes like 10 videos a night pretty much.
Damn.
So like there's that, and then like last night The Voice is one of my shows that I do. And yeah, so I the finale of The Voice was last night, and like which I wouldn't have no idea if I didn't do this cuz like
right.
I don't watch that. But I run that channel. So that was a crazy night yesterday, but today should be smooth sailing, thankfully.
Hell yeah.
Knock on wood. But
all
anyways.
Right. If y'all didn't see the text on the screen there change, Unfuckswittable Deluxe Edition, now available on all streaming platforms. Go check it out. It's just I think it's 4 extra tracks on that I added to Unfuckswittable. It's just a few things that I made in the last couple months. Didn't really want to put them on the album I'm working on, so just threw them onto Unfuckswittable. So y'all got a little deluxe edition.
I liked it a lot.
Thank you.
I listened to it front to back.
Hell yeah.
It's cool. I like just instrumental stuff, and like it definitely sounds like video game music, which
That's
I know is what you're going for.
I'm gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I would love to fucking get into, like doing video game music and scores and shit. I'm about to say we were talking. I'm gonna work a little bit on your short.
Yeah.
Super excited for that. I always love doing commercial work for shit.
Yeah, like I think my favorite score that you've done for me is the Black Lives Matter documentary, and how I just wanted it to sound like 60s.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's from that time period.
I love that song so much.
Yeah, you know Luke will like just play that on guitar sometimes.
That's fucking fried.
Like he has like the harmonics thing down, like the
yeah,
it's your song, you know what it is.
Yeah,
but like he's got like the opening part down,
That's sick
he'll
as
just
fuck.
like play it sometimes. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? That's Jaylen's song.
That's sick as fuck. I
Yeah.
always love how he fucking, you know, I released a song and then 2 weeks later he's like, all right, so for that one part in the bridge, I'm like, what the? I don't even remember, bro. I made that song 7 months ago. I don't remember.
Lighthouse Landing was in his top 10 artists of the year.
I'm about
Not
to
even
say-
you. Lighthouse Landing. He just listens to the original album. I think because he's like making fun of it. But
I don't care, bro.
but like
Drive those numbers up.
yeah, dude.
I'm gonna get my 3 cents a year. All right.
That's so funny. Yeah. But anyways, Unfucks with the Bull. I really liked the deluxe edition a lot. It was cool, and I love the album artwork on both of those. Really,
Thank you.
it's really.
I'm
great.
about to say so the first one, it was I was just digging through a whole catalog of my mom's old pictures and shit from when we were kids, and I was like, I have no idea where I was when this was taken, how old I was. So I just took a picture of it, and I was like, look how fucking young we all were, you know. And then I was like, that would kind of be a hard album cover, you know, scribble out everybody else's face. And then like, I don't know, like a month or so ago, my mom sent me another picture. It was like, you know, it's pretty similar, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And she was like, you were so sassy as a child. And I was like, there we go. Deluxe edition. That's what I needed. And then, you know, I ended up making a few more tracks. And so I was like, well, it kind of fucking just.
Dude, it was real. I really loved that it was like similar but different.
It's
photo.
Like everybody's in the same spot, but we're all doing like different poses and shit, pretty much.
No, that was I love that. It's my favorite album cover of yours for sure.
Thank you.
I do. I mean, I love. I don't know. The anxiety.
Like
that one's cool too. I really like that one. I really love the single for Anxiety. The artwork of like you're on it.
Oh yeah, where it's just it's like kind of like this, but it's like the colors of
of the actual album.
Yeah, like Why Words Are Hard. Yeah. Or Why Are Words Hard. I don't remember what the fuck it was called. Go check it out. Linktree.com/JAK Productions. You can find all my shit on there. Social medias. If you want to donate to the podcast, helps us get microphones and, you know, do shit around here. You know, there's a little link for it. Appreciate it. Not mandatory or nothing, but T, hit them with your spiel. We're getting to the song, and then we can ramble on for a little bit longer.
Name's Theo Kale. Would like to. So you can check it out at Glasshouse Films 8 on YouTube. And if you would like to get in contact anyway, you can contact me at Glasshouse Films 8 on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
What he said.
If you didn't catch it, I don't know what the fuck the problem is. The audio on T's mic keeps going out. Glasshouse Films 8 on Instagram if you want to get in contact with him, working on any projects or behind the scenes, on the scenes, you know, anything like that. And if you want to watch his short, The Night Shift, it's on youtube.com/@glasshousefilms8. So check him out. We appreciate y'all. Let's get into it. I can add you on there. You're not on there now. You want to talk to the people through the song?
Subscribe. Hey. Hit subscribe. Hey. I think I'm off beat because I can't hear the song. Hey. I forgot we didn't do the intro, man.
It's all good. Hit subscribe, babe. Hit subscribe, babe. Hit subscribe, or your grandma gonna die. No, I'm just kidding. We love your grandma. The Two Tone Podcast. Send her over. We won't do nothing nefarious to her. All right, welcome back to the Two Tone Podcast. My name is Jaylen Kell, if you missed it. Alongside me, as always. All right, you couldn't hear him because his microphone's fucking up yet again. So give me 5.7 seconds.
Theo Kale.
There you go. Beautiful. So, all right. You know, it really wouldn't be the Two Tone Podcast if we didn't have fucking audio issues. So, give me 5.7 seconds. And, I think his fucking thing keeps coming out of the microphone or something. I don't know. Yeah. This might just have to, you know.
You got mine still? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got everybody but T. I don't know what the problem is with this cord or.
Oh, there's something. I saw levels there now.
Okay. Hey.
We back.
Okay, we back. I don't know what I did. I don't know how I fixed it.
Just now talk again, Theo.
How you doing?
Oh, beautiful. Okay. All right. Don't touch nothing. Hands in the air. Okay. All right, we're gonna harmonize real quick. Oh, that was terrible. Somebody was flat.
My throat's a little fucked.
Yes, I'm sorry if y'all listening to headphones. That was terrible. All right. Okay, so
there's a reason I make movies now.
All right, let me get my little. I made this little gay ass book, you know. Got my fucking notes and shit. All right, so Kyle, welcome back.
Wow.
Welcome back to the Two Tone Podcast. How does it feel to be the? I think you're the second guest we've had back.
Oh,
repeat Sam on
guest.
The pod. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm honored. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you this like before the podcast started, but I was like, I'll save this for the podcast.
I appreciate it.
I listen to you guys like every week.
Yeah.
I love how consistent you are. Like, I think that's what I mean. Me and Robbie's podcast isn't consistent at all because we just like, hey, let's do one. All right, fuck it, and we'll throw it up there. But like, it's more like a special thing when that comes out.
Right.
But your podcast is like, especially when I'm back in LA and like working from home alone, it's become like a part of the weekly routine.
Hell yeah. That's what I was hoping. Like,
yeah.
Everybody, I'm going to say everybody at work, you know, fake fans. But everybody at work is like, I never remember when it comes out of like Tuesdays at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to watch it at 5 a.m., but Tuesdays.
Dude.
Two-Tone Tuesdays. That's why I chose Tuesdays, because it's a day in the week that rhymed with the fucking name.
And then we got Jennifer, who just is taking 7 years.
Yeah, Jennifer, if you ever get to this episode, man, congratulations. She's on episode like 4, I think.
I don't know if I've seen like the first few. I think I may have started like late because I'm a bad friend.
Fake fan.
And then I just kind of like picked up from there. So I don't know if I've gone back. I think I may have started like 8 or something like that.
It's all good. I don't give a fuck, man. I appreciate anybody that watches the Two Tone Podcast, man. If you're still out here, hit that subscribe button, please. We lost a subscriber the other day.
If you're number
49.
Down to
Dude,
48.
it was really funny because you were like, yeah, we're on 49. We're 1 away from 50. And I looked and I said 48. And I was like, yo, what the fuck happened?
I saw that and I was like, bro.
Who unsubscribes from channels?
I was like, that's what I was like. I still have subscriptions on my channel from when I was like fucking 14.
Yeah.
But if you unsubscribe, man, there's a special place for you. But anyways, hit that subscribe button, share share the clips with your friends. You ain't even got to share the whole podcast, but if you see the clips online, share them. But yeah, we appreciate everybody that's still rocking with us. So,
hell yeah.
Onward and upward. Let's see. Okay, so you the last time we was talking about AI, you were like, "Oh shit, we should talk about AI when you get back on the pod." So,
I'd be down for it. Yeah. It's fucking terrifying. I'm not a fan of it at all, really. I think like ChatGPT, for example, if you're using it as like a heightened like Google search engine, if you're looking for something like objective, like there is a correct answer to your question, or if you're like solving software issues and you want to ask like, hey, in Premiere, how do I do this? And it could like tell you, like that shit's pretty cool. But as soon as you get into using AI's like subjective stuff, like ideas, writing, art of any way, I can't stand it because I think it's like a lot of people are like, oh, well, the people that are going to survive are the ones that end up using AI to their advantage. But I think if you use AI in an art form, you're taking away the point of art entirely. Like, I think that if for art to be true, it has to just come from you, even if it's like you're using it as an assist. I just don't like it. But yeah,
I can understand that. I feel like there's the way that AI is just like blown up in the last, however long it's been. I feel like the progression of it has just been so upward. Like it started with, like ChatGPT just essentially being like a, as you were saying, just like a souped up kind of Google.
Yeah.
And then, now it can pass like legal exams and it can do all this fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
And like you can use other forms of AI, like they're doing like animations now with AI. Or I saw this thing the other day where it was this guy, he had made this program where like he put these like shapes into this program. It was like a green square and a yellow circle on top of it or whatever.
Yeah.
and the AI was like, it took the basic shapes that he made and rendered it into like this bird sitting on top of this mushroom, and in the prompt he was like bird sitting on top of mushroom, and then like used in combination with like the drawing AI or the art AI, it's just crazy how far you can really go into using AI without it seeming like, it's obscure,
It's wild, dude, how much it's like progressed. Like even I think like in the past year, it's just been insane how fast like AI art and all this. And like the thing is I think it's funny for like memes and shit. Like if you're just fucking around, whatever. But like I don't know. The thing is that what it's going to be ended up used for and has already been used for is, I think the biggest thing facing Hollywood right now is the fact that every executive doesn't see it as art, they see it as content. So they have to, instead of competing with other movies and other stories, they're competing with TikTok, they're competing with like just social media, and TikTok is social media, whatever. But they're just competing for eyes, and their answer to that is, instead of actually making good art that speaks to people, they want to get shit out fast. And they don't care if it's bad. They just want people to keep watching it and keep people on the hook. And like Disney's a massive example of this, and how it's just like Marvel has just completely gone down the drain because of this. But my point with AI is that it feeds into that mindset a lot of just making content. The intro for Secret Invasion, which I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen the intro, but I didn't watch the show because I've heard it's fucking ass. But the whole intro is made with AI. And I just can't believe that a company like Disney, with a show that its budget is over $200 million, they're like, let's just do an AI intro.
Right. It's like
what? Like,
why would you skimp out on that part when you've already put so much money into it?
Yeah, and it's just, I think it's going to be used as, instead of a way to elevate someone's work, which I don't even agree with using it in that way, but a lot of people's argument is that I think it's going to be used for cutting corners. And I think it's just going to make people stupider. Stupider's not even a fucking word. It's going to make people more stupid. Yeah, obviously is working for me. It's gonna make people more stupid, and like just being able to like understand what they're watching. Like media literacy is just going down the fucking drain in terms of analyzing things and all this. And I feel like this mindset that a robot can do art because, I mean, it's entertainment, I'm gonna sit here and watch it anyways, like it's just so fucking stupid. Because like art should challenge you. It should entertain you, of course, too, but like you want to have different perspectives and actually hear people's stories. It's like what I was saying when we were talking about like you should watch movies. It's because it can open up into different people's perspectives, different countries' perspectives, different time periods in history, their perspective. Like the movie I watched in the 60s, it was like totally about like Vietnam and about like mass shootings were just starting to happen in the 60s, and it was about that starting. Like you can see time periods and all this shit. Like if you give AI a prompt to write a script about something, like I just don't see it having like context of what people were feeling then, what was happening in history, what they were going through. I just don't see it working.
Right.
Right.
I kind of think of it in a way like if you were making, like a birthday cake,
Yeah.
AI could make the actual cake itself, but I don't feel like it could frost the cake. I don't feel like it could put the candles on the cake. I don't feel like, it could even light the candles. You would get like the meat and potatoes of it, and then I feel like that's where they're gonna kind of use it. Just try to get like the meat and potatoes of the story, and then hire writers to, here's this 25 pages that the AI wrote, make it a full length feature, just adding in little shit here and there,
Yeah, it's fucking wild because the thing is luckily that isn't gonna happen now because the writers were on strike, and AI
that was the second point on my list.
There we go. And it's funny how you have the list and I just naturally get to them. But the writers went on strike. I mean, there was a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons was AI, because it was very quickly becoming a threat to writers, along with all the residuals and all this shit. And it can't be used now. So that was a win for them. And
W's in the chat, boys.
Because the thing is like, it's never going to favor the writer. it's always going to favor the corporations.
Right, just to get more money and pump it out faster, as you say.
Exactly. So it's like when they're like, oh, here's 20 pages that an AI wrote, well, that just cut out a writer of at least 2 weeks of work and of pay. So it's like, it's their job, it's their livelihoods. You have to like understand that it's not about efficiency and all this shit. Like, it's their job, and it's also like, we want to hear what they have to say, even in that mundane kind of stuff. So it's it just really drives me crazy. And to see the general population just being like, yeah, it's cool, fuck it. And I'm like, oh my God, we're doomed.
Right. I can understand that.
It's so over.
What's your opinions on AIT?
I mean, I don't like it, but I have a question. So, how do like big companies not get in legal trouble for taking writers' work for a film?
Not taking their work? You mean like with giving it to AI?
Like they're taking, like, if a writer writes something, like they'll be like, all right, can you finish this
like
paragraph?
Like rewrites and all that kind of stuff?
No, just like, so say Jaylen is a writer, right?
Okay.
And I'm the corporation. Jaylen's done writing a screenplay, and I'm like, all right, I'll take it and make it a film.
Yeah.
But I'll hire and all these other people, and you'll just be sitting in the back room while it's happening. Like, how do they not get in trouble for that stuff?
I mean, as a writer, you sign contracts, and it's all about like the legal things in your contract. Like, you can usually, if you're just a writer, like, also the director kind of has some leniency to like change some of it to fit his vision more. A good collaborative team would talk with the writer and involve them. Sometimes that doesn't happen. But the real answer to your problem, or to your questions, is that the corporations and the government are basically one and the same. Like, they're all in it for the money, and it's like, it's just, they're on the same side. So it's the artists and workers are always going to be the ones getting fucked over if it's going to result in more money for the companies. And that's really the answer to everything.
Yeah.
Any industry at all. But yeah, it's like, as a script, as a screenplay writer, like, there is some freedoms that you're going to give up if you're not directing it, if you're not going to be involved in production. Sometimes this is also a thing that they're striking against. They would pay writers like just for first drafts or whatever, and then they wouldn't have them on during production. They'd cut all the writers, and it was making movies worse and all this, because they were like, oh, fuck it, we don't need them anymore, it's done. But they change it, and but now it's like, I don't know exactly, like, don't quote me on this in terms of the clauses and what was agreed, but I'm pretty sure that a writer has to be on set now. So they're starting to kind of like, that was another thing they were striking against, is that like they were fucking over their work. So it's definitely a concern of writers. But yeah, legally, why don't they don't get in legal contract, dude? The amount of contracts you have to sign when you're working on a film is ridiculous. Like, even me, who like has done PA stuff, like just NDAs and all that shit. Like, if you don't sign them, you don't get to work. So it's just the fine print.
Isn't there like a thing that directors and people who are on set tell people that are in the public when they see people filming like mayonnaise commercial? Yeah, that is true. That I mean, the thing is it's so well known now, especially like in LA, that no one ever says that. But the whole thing is like, if you're filming Avengers and people walk by and like, what are you filming? You're just like, oh, it's a mayonnaise commercial, because no one's gonna fucking stop for a mayonnaise commercial.
That's fucking
so
hilarious.
They just keep going. And yeah, that's like, if you're filming something secret, yeah, that's kind of,
so you guys,
that's the joke.
So in LA, they say different things now.
I mean, who fucking knows?
Toothbrush commercial.
Yeah. I remember one time I walked by, I was with my friend Shock, and I forget what
we're Lock and Barrel there too.
But I forget what part of town we were in, but we just walked by this production, and it was a security guard outside, and Shock will talk to anybody, and he's just like, hey, what are you guys filming? He goes, it's American Horror Story. Yeah. He just like told us. Like, oh, cool, man. Thanks. I saw the FX trucks. I was wondering. But it's just like, some people don't give a shit. And the thing is LA, it's not like people are really rushing to like stand outside productions to wait for people. It's like, it happens all the time, dude. There's always something filming. You'll see like these yellow crew parking signs everywhere, and they'll have like, abbreviations or code names on it. So like when I worked on Obi-Wan, the code name was Joshua Tree. So all the signs were like Joshua Tree crew parking. Like no one's gonna be like, oh my god, it's Star Wars.
Right.
But like, yeah. So like with bigger productions, they'll have code names or, like when I worked on So Cold the River, the one I shot here. I didn't shoot it. The one I worked on here. It was just like SCTR, like the abbreviation. So, anyways, yeah, mayonnaise commercial. But yeah, I think that kind of answers your questions about writers, maybe. But yeah,
it works for me.
The thing is like I haven't been like a paid writer yet, so I don't have firsthand experience with all that stuff, but I just know by reading into it and all that.
It just seems like they like big companies just fuck over writers. Like they're like, all right, I need you to write this script, and then when they're done with the script, they just take the paper and then like, all right, you're off. Go do whatever.
Do writers get residuals off of movies?
Not on streaming. They didn't. Yep.
That's fucked.
I mean, it also is like working into their contract and all that, but that was the biggest thing they were striking over is that the WGA hasn't reworked their contract since 2007. So it was before Netflix and all this like really got popular. Right. So none of the stuff for streaming was in there. So they were getting fucked, dude, like horrendously. And so, for example, if you had an episode of TV that you were a writer on and it showed on like networks, so if it was like on NBC or whatever, you get like a couple thousand per rerun, like if not more. Like you get a pretty nice check. And the thing is that writers use those checks to pay their bills, to maintain their health insurance. Right. It's like a massive part of their income because it's a gig economy. You're like on one project, it's over, so you're off work for a month. You get onto another project. So in those in-between times, they relied on residuals a lot. Well, before this new strike that just happened, they weren't getting any residuals for streaming. They'd be like, I remember there was one clip of one of the writers of Daredevil from Netflix, and it was a season that did really well. It's a Marvel show. Of course, it's popular. The entire year, he got $500 of residuals for it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. There were people, the writer of The Bear showed up to the Emmys that he was nominated for, and he had a negative account in his bank account, or a negative amount in his bank account.
Jesus fucking
Like,
Christ.
these writers are broke as fuck because of the residuals. And it's like, people, God, I just would, like, go into comments just to see, like, what the hell what normal people were thinking of the strike, because it was always like, oh, this movie got delayed because of the strike. And the people were just like, man, just use AI. Like, these guys just need to have better jobs, or like, it was just crazy what people were saying. And it's just,
like, it's kind of like working at a fast food restaurant. You get treated like shit, and then people are like, oh, well, he treated me like shit, maybe you should get a better job.
Yeah.
It's not that fucking easy.
People just are, it goes back to the whole problem that, like, working class are always the ones getting fucked, even by other people in the working class. They're like, oh, you could get a better job than that. It's fucking, you know.
Right, and then they go and get a better job, and then nothing comes out, and then they're like,
yeah,
why is there no movies?
Yeah.
It's because you told them to fucking go away, you dumbass.
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of those comments, like, when I was, when I worked at Sony and I was part of, like, the COVID team, all, like, the dumbasses who, like, didn't believe in COVID, the shit they would say to us, oh my God, dude. Crazy. They're like, so what are you going to do? Go back to flipping burgers after this? I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm like, I'll go back to being a production assistant, you dumbass.
That ass.
Like, I
just here getting that money.
This is why I feel like it's probably never going to happen. But I've been saying for the longest time that a bunch of, like, famous directors and producers should get together and move out to fucking Austin, Texas, and make a whole fucking company based around the actual arts and respect, like, artists and people who make shit.
Why Austin?
Because that's like the new hub where everybody's going. Like, Joe Rogan's over there, Bert Kreischer's in Austin. A lot of comedians have moved out to Austin.
Like, here's why they're moving to Austin. It's because California and LA is, quote, too liberal for them in terms of their, like, progressive ideas, and they fucking hate California and they want to do their own shit. And the thing is that I agree with you. Like, I wish there were companies that treated their employees well and all that shit, but it lines up with those kind of people that move there are not those kind of people. The people in Austin I know this is like a blanket statement, but the majority of people that were in California were like, fuck this place, I hate it, and then moved to Austin to form their own thing, is because it's a lot cheaper to cut corners in Austin. It's a lot cheaper to get around what minimum wage is lower, all this shit. Like, they're moving to Austin because they're abusing their workers, and that's exactly why they're doing it. The thing is, if there are people that wanted to, have a company that respected artists, I totally agree with you with that. You know what I mean? I wish that was every corporation, but it being in Texas doesn't fucking mean shit, because the people that are in Texas are the assholes, to be honest. And it's just like, at least in the film industry. What? Yeah, it could be anywhere. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, a lot of where movies are made are based on tax incentive laws. So a lot of states will actually give productions refunds on, like, if they spend so much in that state. So if you are like spending hotels, catering, shutting down roads, all this shit, like any movie that comes in, like, we'll give a boost to local economies. So a lot of states, or not a lot of states, some states have incentives to where if you spend so much budget on a movie, they will give you like 40% of your budget back or whatever. And the states that don't have that incentive, they're not going to film in. So, is his mic out again?
Yeah, it's all good. You can go ahead with what you was talking about.
Could you hear what he was saying earlier about Austin and all that?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so I feel like there's a lot of states that like don't have that law. Texas is just one of them that does. So that's why people are going to Texas to film that. Indiana has actually gained some recently. So Indiana, I feel like, could be a really cool place to shoot in. I want to shoot my movies here. My feature that I just wrote, I want to shoot the majority of it here.
Especially like horror films. Like, I feel like you could do so many horror films in Indiana with like the cornfields and like the broken down barns and everywhere.
There's every fucking location in Indiana. Like, I worked on a movie that isn't out yet. And it was like right before I moved to LA. And we shot like at Lake Michigan. So it was like San Diego for a scene, and we shot in the caves down south, like, and it was in Mexico in that scene. Like, you can do a lot of different locations in Indiana that people like don't really think about having. Yeah. And the thing is that it is so much easier to get like permits here because it doesn't happen that often, or even like get businesses to like shoot a movie, like, or you can ask a business, hey, like, could I shoot a movie here? And like, I would say over half the time they'll be like, yes, because it doesn't happen in Indiana. So they think it's cool and exciting and new. Yeah. And I love shooting here because of that. I feel like it becomes a really cool community kind of effort to make something. Or like, as in LA, like, it's, can I shoot a movie here? How, like, all right, that'll be $1,000 or I mean more. And they have a default answer to people asking that question.
Right.
Because everyone tries to shoot stuff there. So I think it is cool to like shoot in other states and all that. I like it, as long as the employees and crew members aren't getting abused because of it. Majority of times, that's why they shoot in other states. So I'm not saying all the time, but it's the kind of people that move out of California to do that kind of shit. That's what happens. But yeah, the idea of a company that actually cared about its workers, I would love. Would love. It'd be awesome. And I think that there's a few production companies that are like that. More so distributors, but A24, Neon, both of those companies find really cool movies to distribute and give a lot of filmmakers their like first kind of chance at a big distribution. So there are definitely companies that you could support like that. It's just like it's rare.
Far and few between.
Yeah. So that's my spiel about that.
Fair enough.
If that makes any sense.
It sounded good to me. All right. So last thing I had to ask you about, are you still doing that like the 1 second a day thing?
Oh, dude. As soon as I started working from home, I stopped it because, one, I've done it 5 years. So it's like a good it's a good 5-year kind of thing. But also, like, every single day was becoming the same for me. And instead of giving it like, before when I first started, it was kind of like giving me an excuse to like go out and do something. Well, now I like literally couldn't get, like, my routine is so
Right.
It's not flexible at all, so it was just like making me kind of upset that I like couldn't go do something.
I can understand that.
Like before it was like, oh, I can go out and do some fun stuff. Let's go do some fun stuff and get a cool shot. And like that's kind of, I like used it to motivate myself sometimes. But yeah, now I'm just like, I can't. It's gonna be me again. Just a selfie. And it's like,
He said.
Yeah, so I was kind of getting discouraged about it. Also, like I feel like in LA, if you're just like whipping out a camera all the time, and I don't know, people are a little bit more like, yo, dude.
I can understand that.
You're just surrounded by Instagram content people and all this stuff all the time, and they get laughed at, including by me. And I'm like, I don't really want to be that. So
everybody thinks you're about to be like,
yeah,
$1 or a mystery gift,
dude.
Like,
yeah. Like I was on
Santa
Monica Pier one time, and this dude came up to me and was like, he just like was filming me, and he's like, all right, Joe Rogan or Donald Trump, and I'm like, neither. What the fuck? Or maybe it was Elon. It may have been Elon. It was like Elon or Trump, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, get out of my face.
That's
so
fucking
it's
hilarious.
just like I don't. Not that the 1 second a day was that. It wasn't like super intrusive, but like, I just I got tired of asking people, hey, do you want to be in this? And like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Fair enough. I can understand that.
It was a cool project, but I think 5 years was a cool like little.
It is a good little look into it. I feel like I always enjoyed watching them at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's such a cool way to document like how your life is going and shit.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
I thought it was the coolest shit ever.
I appreciate it. I mean, I have probably like through August of this year. I could maybe do something with it, but it's just like after that, I'm just like, there's like a video every once in a while. But yeah, it was becoming like 1 in probably 30 days was a cool looking thing. Other than that, it was just like me, a selfie in the bathroom, my laptop, me smoking weed again. It was just like
it's just 4 days in a row. It looks like, like one of those videos where like they just cut shots and then they're in a different position.
Exactly.
It's like 5 days you smoking on the couch. You're just over here and then over there.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, yeah, I wasn't like fulfilled creatively by it anymore. Although it is really cool, but yeah, it kind of sucked to not do it anymore. But it's been kind of a nice breather away from it, because every 5 years straight I was like, all right, what's the 1 second gonna be?
Right.
And I just kind of it's made me live in the moment a little bit more, whereas before that it was making me live in the moment. I think it was starting to do the inverse, where I was
it just like, got to a certain point where it felt like more of a responsibility
and it felt like I was having like content brain, where it's like I was only doing shit to get that second.
Yeah, I can understand that as well.
So it's like I wasn't actually doing it because I wanted to do it, kind of thing. So
fair enough.
So living in LA, would you would you still say that you have like fanboy tendencies? Like if like a famous person walked down the street, you'd be like, oh my god, it's a famous person. Or would you just be like, oh, it's fucking Timmy from last Tuesday?
I'm definitely the latter. I don't give a shit now. It's pretty funny. I mean, it depends who it is, of course. Like if like Emma Stone walked by, I'd be like,
oh shit. Yeah,
like actors I think are a little cool. I don't know, but like the celebrities I've seen are just so random. Like there's like this one story where I was just at a stoplight, and I was in the car with Robbie, and Logan Paul and his whole gang like just drove by on little scooters, and Robbie was like, oh my god, is that Logan Paul? And I looked down at him and I just went, yeah. Like I just like don't give a shit. Like, yeah, there he is. Like, cool, man. I think one of my favorite ones though is it was when Grace and Eamon were in LA, and we were walking on Hollywood Boulevard, and the D's Nuts guy just like walked past us on the street, and Grace didn't recognize him, but me, Eamon, and Robbie all did, and we all just went,
D's Nuts.
Yeah. The most recognizable person ever. I was just so that one, I think that was the only one that I was like, that's so fucking funny. You know what I mean?
That is fucking fried.
Yeah. I saw like a week before I moved. A week before I left LA to visit for Christmas here, I saw Logan Lerman on the street. He's like the guy who played Percy Jackson in the original ones. It's in like Perks of Being a Wallflower. I was like, oh shit, that's Logan Lerman. He's cool. But like, it's not super common to see people, but when you do, it's cool. The Q&As are where it's really cool though, because they're there to be seen. So it's not like, then you can just be like, hell yeah, you can cheer them on a little bit. But in person, like, rule of thumb is like, do not fucking just let him be. Like you can be
Right.
like, hey, look, that's so and so over there. But like, not I mean, don't point, but you're just like, yeah, behind me, look. But like
6 o'clock.
yeah,
Brad
yeah.
Pitt.
But people that
Brad
like come
Pitt.
up to them and like want photos or like, shut the fuck up. Like
Just let this person live their
Yeah.
life.
Like
Yeah.
I've seen hella videos of like wrestlers like getting off of planes and shit, and people
Yeah.
run up to them and asking for signatures, and they're just like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to go to the hotel."
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you just gotta understand they're people too. You know, they didn't let them be. I mean, I think like there's certain situations like if you are interacting with them that you could like give them a compliment or something. Like, I remember I COVID tested. Why am I just completely spacing on his name now? God damn it. But he was he played the uncle, Judd Hirsch. Judd Hirsch is his name. He played the uncle in The Fabelmans, and I saw him because he was on the Goldberg show, and I worked on that for a little bit, and I saw him there, and I was already like interacting with him. I was like checking him in and all that. It was like a week after The Fabelmans came out, and I was like, hey, I just want to say you were very good in The Fabelmans. Like your performance was excellent. It was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. I told him that, and he like was actually like really touched by that. He was like, "Oh, thank you," because it had just
Right.
come out, so he hadn't really been like receiving like a lot of acclaim. Also, he's only in it for like one scene, but when you see that scene, you'll fucking know why I complimented him. He's so good. And then a couple of weeks later, he ended up getting nominated for an Oscar for it.
That's sick as
And
fuck.
and like you could tell, like it seemed like I was one of the first like strangers to just like point that role out to him and be like, "You were excellent in The Fabelmans."
I'm about to say, I'm sure, especially if he had a small role,
Yeah,
he would be even more appreciative
Yeah.
of it.
Is it Spielberg that's
yeah. It
based
was
off of?
yeah. Spielberg directed it. Yeah,
Isn't
but
the story based
yeah.
off of his?
It is. Yeah, it's autobiographical pretty much. That's probably one of the best movies about filmmaking, actually. Oh yeah, we should talk about the movie and album of the week.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say we're at an hour. If
We're good
All
on
right.
time for me. I mean, we can as long as you want to keep going. But
right on, works for me either way. All right, so let's hop on into it. Which one you want to talk about first, the album or the film? I'll let y'all decide.
we're talking about music. We're talking about movies for a while.
All right, let's talk about the album of the week. The album of the week. Rum-pum-pum-pum. Oh damn! Why my elbow do that? The bitch said, "Yank." All right, so the album of the week is "The Manifestation" by Chris-n-Teeb. So I came across this album like 3 or 4 years, or no, maybe 2 years ago now. But I came across it. I was living in a fucking shithole of a place, and I was like, all right, so my surroundings aren't great, but I need to start working on my mental, or I might just leave this apartment and never return to Indiana again.
Mhm.
So I was, going through a whole bunch of literature about, working on yourself and all that shit. So I was reading about manifestations, and so I, randomly just put into Spotify manifestations, and this album came up, and so I was like, I'll listen to it, and it came like one of like the anthems that like got me through living in this shithole until I got into this apartment.
Yeah.
And it the album is just a whole bunch of manifestations. Like the first one is I wake up every day feeling good. Everything is as it should be, and you just sing along to it, and you're like, at a certain point, even if you like don't necessarily feel like that in the moment, some point in the song, you're like, everything is as it should be,
Yeah.
and you're just like, it's kind of like a way that the way that I used it was more like a, like this too shall pass type shit.
That's
It was
really cool.
It was like really I don't know. I haven't listened to it in forever. We've been living here almost a year now, but I found it the other day when I was going through my Spotify Wrapped or whatever, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about this.
Yeah.
But
that's really cool you said it, because I listened to it like without even reading the title or anything, and I was like, he's just repeating the same thing over and over again. And I showed it to Luke because I was like, what do you think of this album? And he's like, he's just like manifesting. And I went, oh my God, it's called The Manifestation. Duh.
Mhm.
And so then I realized like, oh, it's that.
Right.
So I was wondering like what you got out of it. So that's really cool. That's kind of like how you found it too. You just looked up manifestation.
Yeah.
As a first,
And
because the
then
beats are good. I
Right.
really like the beats.
I'm about to say it's this duo, this I think like one of them is a producer and the other
Yeah.
one is. They both end up singing on the track, but I think one of them produces them. But the beats are really fucking good, and the message behind the songs are really really good as well.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear like how you received it, because I thought it was like okay, honestly, the first listen, because I was like, it started and I was like, this is fire, and then like it was the same thing over and over again, and I was like, eh. But now that that's how you kind of use that as like a positive manifestation, like yourself as well while listening to it. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, when I was living in the shithole I used to live in, like, that's when I got into like kind of like the spirituality kind of shit. Started doing yoga and like taking care of my body, even though the surroundings aren't great. So like, it was it was hard to live there, but had to have something on the inside that kept me sane. So
that's really cool, man. No, that's dude, man, I love when art like can open up conversations like that shit, where it's like, this actually like really helped me get through some shit,
right?
Like and like my eyes, that makes it like it did exactly what it's supposed to do,
right? Like it's not an album that's crazy like musically. It's not an album that's crazy lyrically, like as you were saying. It's the same lyrics over and over again to the beat, and the beat doesn't really change up either. But like it's probably like one of my top 10 albums. Like it's just the beats that are in it are so good for what they are, and the message behind it is just so like it just found me like in a specific point in my life where like it was really influential onto the kind of shit that I wanted to do with music, and just using it as a tool to maintain my sanity somewhat.
That's really cool. My favorite track on, and it's a short album, it's only like 15 minutes. So I listened to it
12.
like even shorter. Wow. I listened to it twice. I really like the last track a lot, Believe It. That's my favorite. It's really cool. I also like the tone of his voice a lot. I was just kind of like, the first song started and I expected him to just like start spitting. And then I was like, oh, what the fuck? But then, now that I see what you're going for with it, and I definitely like just your spiel about it made me like it like 10 times more. So
I say this song's cool. My favorite off of it. Real quick, I'll play a little snippet.
I'm rich, 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 I'm rich. Money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently. Money comes easily and frequently.
So like, you know the words already.
Money coming to me now. Money coming to me now.
All right, y'all get the point.
Yeah.
But whenever I'm on the way to work, about to talk to my boss about a raise or something, I'll throw that song on. I'm like, money comes easily and frequently. Get that 50-cent raise, But it's an album that I don't listen to very often, but when I come back to it, I'm like, I realize why I like this album so much.
That's really cool, man. Hell yeah. I love that you guys do the album and movie of the week. It's cool. It's a cool little thing.
We try to have some part of the show have some structure to it.
Yeah. I love that. All right, what about the movie, Theo? Why'd you pick this one?
Hollywoodland.
What's up with Hollywoodland?
I was told by Kyle, not you, a different Kyle.
Oh, different Kyle. Oh, wow, okay.
That we work with, that Hollywoodland was a good film, so I checked it out. And
cool. I had never heard of this movie when Jaylen sent it to me. I had no fucking idea what it was. Never seen it.
Me neither. That's usually how it works.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, found something I didn't know about, so I watched it. I think it's just all right, to be honest. But the reason why well, what did you like about it first? I don't want to just shit on it.
So
let me get your perspective. Like how I got Jaylen's.
I like how it showed the hardships that you can go through in Hollywood, even if you make it, like you think you make it.
Mm-hmm.
There's still hardships that happen. Like, in the film, like bro was literally like going insane because he was getting old and he thought people wouldn't like care for him to act anything else, and so
all right, so spoiler alert,
thing happens at the end.
If you haven't seen the movie, we're about to talk about the ending. So I excuse me, sorry, I fell asleep halfway through the movie last night. So how does the movie end? What ends up happening?
So
who killed him? Was it the maid?
What's his dick?
This guy?
Yeah, that guy. What's his name?
The detective guy?
Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Dude with the nose. That's why I said
he's pretty good.
He's like trying to figure out if girl in the middle.
Hold up, your microphone cut out. This is frustrating.
It's on.
Well,
okay.
It's on.
Continue.
So the girl in the middle, she is married to a wealthy man, and then gets in a relationship with the guy on the other side.
The right.
Fucking dick. Clip that shit. But said the other side. Yeah. All right. So the chicken.
Still,
in the middle.
he's trying to figure out. The guy on the right died, and so he's trying to figure out like if the girl in the middle killed him or not because they were in a relationship. And
so she was like he was like the.
She's the older. She's like the older woman that he got into a relationship with her because her husband was like the president of I forget if it was Warner Brothers or it was one of the companies.
Oh, I remember, it was MGM.
MGM. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So he kind of like gets in a relationship with her to like use that and exploit it. Meanwhile, there's another younger girl that he starts dating, and that isn't the girl in the middle. Forget their names. I watched this at like 2 a.m. And there's that whole like love triangle going on. So Adrian Brody, it's reported that it's, first of all, this movie is this is a true story.
Yeah.
It's about the original Superman actor, George Reeves, who killed himself. And I guess there's like theories that he didn't, kind of thing, but none of it's ever really proven. And this movie's like about that. So it ends with basically just, spoiler. So it shows different perspectives, whether she killed him or the other girl killed him or he killed himself. So there really isn't an answer necessarily.
I hate that kind of shit.
But then at the end of the movie, they show like, I wouldn't say there's a concrete answer, but it does end with him killing himself.
Yeah, because I think that's actually what happened in reality.
Yeah.
The thing is that here's why I didn't like it. I think the PI story is cool in terms of the structure of like, oh, okay, the guy's trying to solve this mystery, whatever. The George Reeves story is cool of him trying to become Superman. He's jaded going into Hollywood, and then he gets kind of fucked over by getting typecasted. The two stories parallel edited together do not work. Like, it should have been one or the other.
Yeah.
Because when it cuts back and forth, oh my god, the pacing
sucks.
Because neither of the characters are that developed. So you don't really care about either of them too much. Right?
I can totally understand that point.
Yeah. So like, I think the performances are really good. Adrian Brody is great. Ben Affleck's actually really good as George Reeves. Like, seeing him in a Superman suit, I have no idea how I never saw this footage. Like, I'm just on that side of Twitter, especially back in the day where like he got cast as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw like, oh wow, he played Superman in this. Never. How did I never? No one knows about this movie.
Yeah.
It's like invisible. And anyways, I think if you did one or the other, I think it could work better. But the way it is, I feel like it comes off as being kind of like just exploitive of his story, especially if he really did kill himself. And like, there's this whole movie about whatever. And like, this dude was depressed because he couldn't act. And one thing, this kind of feeds back, a little spiel, this kind of feeds back into like the AI shit. The new Flash movie that came out, there is an AI version of George Reeves in it. And his family didn't sign off on it or anything. They're just like, oh, it's like the original Superman cameo. It's so fucking weird, dude. And it's like, I just had that taste in my mouth the whole time I'm watching it, where I'm like, did his family get approval for this or anything? Like, or do they just find this story? And yeah, so I don't know. But the thing is, I really love noirs a lot. Like, this movie very obviously was influenced by like Chinatown and shit like that. And I love that genre a lot, but I just think like it was like a cool idea on paper, and they didn't execute it super well.
Yeah.
But the performances are really cool. I like the performances. So.
I can agree with that.
But yeah. I just found it interesting because it shows how even though you think you make it, you really haven't made it.
Yeah.
And then like people get depressed about that and then end up taking their life, or if getting killed because they made it or some shit.
It's a very cool theme. I would say there's one movie that has done that topic insanely well. It's called Birdman. Have you seen it? Have you seen Birdman?
Fire.
The fucking amazing movie. Watch that shit. It's literally the exact same kind of theme where it's like he played Birdman, a fictional superhero, and it's Michael Keaton who actually played Batman. So it's kind of like this weird, like kind of autobiographical thing where it's like he can't do anything except play Birdman because everyone just sees him as Birdman now, and it's what happens in this movie where it's like no, he couldn't be anything else other than Superman.
Getting typecasted.
Yeah.
Wasn't that movie also done in one take?
It's actually so it's made to look like it's one shot. The whole movie. It's actually 16 shots. There's hidden cuts throughout it.
Right.
But it won Best Picture. It's fantastic.
It is a really good movie.
It's real. I think you'd really like that movie. It's like it's really trippy and you don't know what is real at the end kind of thing or what isn't.
Yeah, I feel it's kind of like a modern time Hollywoodland.
Yeah,
almost.
I would say it's like
a very much more well done.
Yeah.
Version
like,
of Hollywoodland.
If you liked Hollywoodland, you would adore Birdman. Adore it. Like favorite movie ever kind of shit because it's like a million times better than this, but it's the same kind of themes. And it talks the reason you like Hollywoodland is the reason Birdman is like that movie. So yeah, watch Birdman. But thanks for the recommendation. I mean, I still watched it. I've seen Ben Affleck in a Superman suit. I will say I took an edible before this movie. I was dying laughing at that shit when he was on the wires like
he's in the mirror.
Also, did you get to the scene where like he's like a little live performance of Superman with all the kids there? Did you see that scene or you fall asleep before it?
Oh, like
the kid points the gun at him.
Yes.
Dude, that scene was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I liked that scene a lot. So there's like some good shit in it, but yeah, I just overall I'm like,
It definitely felt like it had too much going on.
Yeah, it was a little crowded, and therefore made it feel like nothing was going on. Weird.
Yeah. Right.
So, anyways, thanks for picking it though. I watched
All right, Hollywoodland. You're gonna have to rent it on YouTube if you want to watch it. Or online piracy. But
so is Birdman on any streaming platforms?
Let's give it a Google real quick.
I'll let you Google it real quick. I can find it in a second. It's worth renting. I'll tell you that. It is on HBO Max or Max, I should say. Stupid
Max.
But yeah, that movie is incredible. Watch that, like ASAP. Watch it this week. Make that your movie of the week. In terms of, and it would also feed into this podcast really well if you try to watch something new every week. Just what you watched and what you want to talk about. It doesn't even have to be something you liked. It could just be a discussion.
Yeah.
Like, because even with this movie, like I didn't care for it, but like the discussion of why you don't like it or what you did like about it. It's literally what I was talking about at the beginning, you know?
Right.
Something to talk
about.
It
all connects.
Wow. Full circle.
All right.
Wow.
All right, let's hop into TT's Talks and then we can, Jesus Christ. And then we can, my fucking voice cracked. Sorry about that. All right, hop into TT's Talks.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go?
Yeah, you gotta switch the audio.
Yeah, I forgot. Nope. Y'all can't hear it. Let me take this back.
TT's Talks is a really good name for this, by the way.
Two-Tone Podcast, Tuesdays, TT's Talks.
T.
Thought of everything. All right, so I can't hear myself right now, so I'm gonna hope that this is working. Let's change this. Sorry, I gotta do this in real time. All right.
Okay, I can hear the echo, but hopefully it doesn't.
All right, hopefully the echo isn't too bad, but here we go.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
That's me at work, man.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go?
Every time. I started to say no. Nope. They wanted me to like work this shift or today actually. They wanted me to work until 4 a.m, and I was like, it ain't happening.
No, not happening.
It ain't happening.
Sorry about you. I always forget that I have to fucking do these in real. I say that every time. You think I'd learn? This is what I was laughing at.
5,040,000 naughty shorty. Baby girl, oh my God. Oh my God, Shana Posti, on the way to
inner dialogue.
I wanna be keeping you up.
That's pretty good.
I was over here before
That's
the
just what's going on in your head.
Yeah. I was just over here before the podcast died, and I was like, what did I say?
5,040,000 naughty shorty. Baby girl, oh my God. Almagas, Shanapasti, on the way to tight cola, I wanna be keeping you up.
You got that right temperature. Oh, it's too good. Bro, all right, so if y'all don't know TT's talks, TT sends me TikToks every week, and this man literally sent me 35 TikToks this week between like Instagram and TikTok, and I was like, all right, so we're gonna pick 5 and then just call it a day.
That's relatable,
That's TT when his mom says he has to go to the doctor.
bro. I don't know what the hell's going on over there with that. I'm just like, help.
Just, I
They're
just,
like, here's forms to fill out with your medical history. I go, huh?
I don't know my medical history. You just get the medical history, and it's like a history test. You're like,
It's like
when was the scalpel invented?
or like they'll be like, do you have diabetes? Mom, do I have diabetes? I don't know. Type shit.
That's right. Mom, do I have diabetes? No, oh, good. Because my blood sugar was feeling pretty low right there. I thought I needed another chocolate bar.
What if you want to get tested for diabetes, and they ask you if you have diabetes?
You're supposed to tell me.
So that's why I'm here. I don't know. He said, Mom, do I have diabetes? That shit was right. Oh, I'm dead. What clip are we? Okay, this one.
My favorite is when I see that they don't need help, I go, hey, do you guys need help? Oh, we're good. All right, I'll see you. See ya.
Right.
So it's like, oh, he's making an effort, he's trying.
He tried at least.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking good. That's me as fuck. I'll turn the corner at work and just see a full screen and be like, I'm out.
All right, have a good one, guys. My shift ended right now.
And see y'all tomorrow.
Drop what you're doing.
Exactly.
Dude, there's this song. Oh my god, that reminds me. There's this song by the Black Keys. It's on Rubber Factory. I forget which. I think it's 10 a.m. Automatic. I think. But when Dana Auerbach, he goes like, he like makes some weird sound. It sounds in the distance like it's my dad saying Kyle, but like in a mad voice, like calling me up to the stairs, to the point where like I take out my headphones every time. Like I've learned that it's just that song. But, like, it scared the fuck out of me the first time. I was like, what the fuck was that?
That's fucking Friday shit.
I think it's 10 a.m. Automatic, but it literally sounds like Kyle. But I think it's Dan Auerbach going just like, all right, or something like that in the back.
That's Brian. Like, I remember in one of the songs that we recorded, you pointed it out to me. There's one point in the song where you can hear the floorboards from above us creaking. And I was like, I would have never fucking known.
Yeah. It's on Bones, on Basement Tapes, Bones. Yeah. And the thing is that I knew exactly what the sound was. And I remember Curtis is like, it's my favorite song of yours. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I really like how you put like you're talking about how the world is crumbling in this song. And then you put in like a keyboard sound effect, like typing on a keyboard. And I'm like, that's
that
my
never
basement.
happened. That never happened.
It literally is the fact that it's my parents walking above us while we're in the basement. But Curtis thought it was keys typing. But yeah, I guess it doesn't stand out as much as I thought it did.
That song always pops up on my like most recently listened to, and I'm like, Curtis, still listening. Appreciate it.
It's on
all right,
rotation.
So the top 3. Y'all can't see shit because the brightness on my phone. But the top 3 songs that I've released: Anxiety is number 1. Drive. All right, Anxiety with 428. Drive with 367. And then Bones with 332.
That's all Curtis.
330 of those are Curtis.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you that.
I mean, is that across all platforms?
Or just on Spotify?
Okay, so none of that's me because I have Apple Music like a dumbass. I don't know if you can see those numbers. You could probably see.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, but
they
you
just
could
don't
figure
have
out
that.
which one I listen to most or that.
Probably I
or
could.
Luke uses Apple Music too.
I probably could. Spotify has a little app for it, but I gotta go on the laptop and sign into Apple Music and shit to see all the.
I would say the ones
graphs.
I listen to are like your solo shit because it's not like, oh, I'm listening to me drumming. Like Anxiety, I'll like cue that shit up all the time. My favorite thing to do ever is like whenever I have the aux and I'm like at wherever and there's a lot of people around, I'll just throw Anxiety on and just wait and be like, oh, what's this one?
Like, oh, it's pretty nice.
Because that one, and then the one that is in the credits of Tinted Love.
Late Nights.
Late Nights is another one that synth comes in. And you're like, what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
It like sounds professional. It's good.
I like the synth on that one.
Yeah, good shit.
All right, I feel like that's a good spot to end at. We want to say thank you one more time for watching the Two Tone Podcast. Want to say thank you one more time to the very special guest, Kyle Baston. Check him out. I'll put his information in the description. You can check it out there. But yeah, Unfuckswittable Deluxe Edition. You know, it's available everywhere now. Go check it out. Appreciate y'all for listening. Linktree.com/JAK Productions is where you can find all my social medias and links to Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And you can find TT youtube.com/@glasshousefilms8. Kyle Baston.
On Instagram, it's Baston Films. And you can also go to bastonfilms.com.
Oh, shit. You got a website now, huh?
Yeah. Have you not seen it?
I don't think I have.
I'll show you.
I have to check it out, yeah.
I'll show you after.
I'm
pretty proud of it. Yeah.
I didn't know you
had
had
it
one.
for a couple of years. Yeah.
Well, shit.
bastonfilms.com, baby.
I'm fucking behind. All right. Anyways, want to say thank you one more time. Appreciate you. Hit the subscribe button. Show your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin. You know, we appreciate all y'all. This has been the Two Tone Podcast. Let me put you back on. You can talk to him on the way out.
Thanks for listening. All right. Peace out. Peace out.
Hit subscribe. Hey. Hit subscribe or your grandma gonna die. Hey. Okay. Just a disclaimer again. We don't want to kill your grandma if you don't subscribe, but just know I can see the numbers and 4 of y'all are subscribed. So hit the fucking button. Love you.